Okay, so we have our thesis statement. It has 3 different points to it. One is that if we can increase education to students and parents and educators in high school, they'll be able to deal with it better. If we provide psychiatric care for those who want or need help, that'll make those who need help able to get it. And if we educate educators how to do interventions, that will also help reduce the problem. So a couple things to note. One, this thesis is really one paragraph. This first sentence is sort of just a transition sentence from the last paragraph. So your thesis really only needs to be one sentence. It could become an entire paragraph. You could add more onto it. But for most of you, it should just be a single sentence. I have this separated as a different paragraph just to make it clear where it is. You could potentially add it on to the end of your first introductory paragraph. So the classic 5-paragraph essay, you have an intro paragraph, you have that ending with a thesis, and then you have 3 body paragraphs and a conclusion. This essay, for me, is going to turn out a little bit longer because I have a much longer introduction, and then I make the thesis its own paragraph, but it could get organized in a different way. Here's the thing to notice. I address the first part of this thesis right here in my first body paragraph. So this is the first part of the thesis. I talk about it in the following paragraph in my first body paragraph. So notice the similarity between these 2 sentences. We can reduce the prevalence of video game addiction by increasing the education of students about it in primary and high school. Okay? Here's the topic sentence in my first body paragraph. The first step in decreasing video game addiction is for junior highs, high schools, and even colleges to educate students on what the warning signs are. They're not exactly the same, but they mirror each other. They are basically saying the same thing in just a slightly different way. That's how your thesis and your body paragraph should work. Your thesis should be a little more brief because it's one part of a single sentence. The topic sentence of your body paragraph should be a complete sentence with more details. Here I talk about all I say is increasing the education of students. Here I talk about educating students on what the warning signs of video game addiction are. Also notice that this is a strong, clear topic sentence. I'm making a specific demand. I say that to decrease video game addiction, you have to educate students on what the warning signs are. Now that's debatable. Some people could say that's not going to make any difference. That's not going to help. People already know what the warning signs are. It's a debatable point. You could argue the opposite. You could say that, increasing education about what the warning signs are will do nothing to solve the problem. I don't agree with that, but the point is this is a debatable point. Okay, and then I talk about how this can be done. So I say this can be done via a public service announcement style campaign with posters or handouts listing the behaviors of those addictive video games. It could also be part of a lecture series on risk factors for young people. And however you did it, it would help more people recognize it. It would help instructors get students to seek treatment. And it might also get students themselves to influence their peers and say, hey, I think you have a problem, or hey, maybe we all have a problem. We need to go and deal with this. And near the end of this, I give a list of what these sort of warning signs are so that they could be implemented. And then finally, I end with a sentence explaining how this would work best. Something to keep in mind is that you never want to end a paragraph with a quotation. You always want to make a comment on it. And basically, a body paragraph works by making an assertion, providing pieces of evidence. So here I make an assertion. Here I provide pieces of evidence, including a quotation, and then I explain why that argument and the evidence supporting it is correct. I haven't written the other body paragraphs yet, so I only have the first one of these, and I'm going to write the rest of them for a final project to show you next week. But if you're having trouble writing your body paragraphs or figuring out how to do that, take a look at this body paragraph and how it operates. especially make sure that you have a topic sentence that's making an argument, that's proposing a solution, and also a topic sentence that mirrors what's in your thesis. Real quick, you can also take a look at my Works Cited for how to cite websites, how to cite different organizations. The Works Cited should be centered. Each of the sources should be left indented on the first line, but all following lines should be tabbed in one space. It should be last name, first name, title of the article, where it was published, date it was published, URL. Also notice it's in alphabetical order. We've got Davidow, Fayola, Leclerc, Lejac, Prestridge, etc., etc. Okay, so that's the first piece of writing a body paragraph. If you guys have questions, let me know, and I'll try to finish up this essay so we can look over it next week and have an idea of what a really great final A+ style 5 to 6 page research paper would look like. All right, that's it.